So this video is going to cover solving percents by using equations. Now, some people prefer solving equations and the steps involved in solving equations rather than proportions. And if that's you, then this is the method for you. Okay, so in order to solve percent problems by using equations, there's a couple of key words that you do need to get familiar with. First off, when your problem says what number, what percent, that is going to be your variable, right? If we're solving for what number, if we're solving for what percent, it's what we don't know. So it's going to be our x, okay? It's going to be our variable in the problem. Also, when you see the word is in the problem, well, if something is something, well, it equals something. So when you see the word is in a percent problem, that's going to be your equal symbol. Okay. Also, when you see a percent, right, a percent number, such as the 70% that we have right over here, right? So what you need to do is you need to convert that to a decimal. So write percent as a decimal. And the last keyword is the keyword of. Of in math actually means to multiply. So I'm going to use the dot symbol here. So it means to multiply. So when you see of, just think multiplication. And the way that we would solve percent problems by using the keyword is just like this. So taking a look at the example we have here, what? What is our variable, right? So I'm going to put an x instead of what. Next, we have the word is. Well, that's my equal sign. Then we have a 70%. So in order to take that 70%, remember we need to write that as a decimal. So to take any percent and change that to a decimal, all you have to do is move that decimal point 2 times over to the left. So 70% is 0.7. Next word we have is of. Well, of means to multiply. So we're going to take 0.7 times something. And what are we going to multiply it by? Well, we're going to multiply that 2050 that we have right there. 2050, there's no special meaning there. 2050 is 2050. So in order to solve this problem, all we have to do is take 0.7 times 2050. And when we do that, we get 1,435. So 70% of 2050 is 1,435. Okay, so our next example here, 345 is what percent of 1,700? So taking this and translating it into an equation, so the first thing we have is 345, so 345 is just a 345. Is, so that means equals. What, right? What number, what percent? Remember, that's going to be our variable, so that equals x. Next thing we have is the word of, so that means to multiply. All right, so I'm going to put my multiplication symbol here. And the next thing we have is 1,700, so just drop that down, no special meaning there. So the equation we have here is 345 is equal to x times 1,700. To solve this equation for x, all we would have to do is divide out that 1,700. On the right-hand side, it would cancel. And on the left-hand side, we need to do 345 divided by 1,700, and that's going to give us a 0.203. Now, the only thing that we do need to remember here is whenever we are solving equations or solving percents by using equations is this. Think about the fact over here, if we had a percent, we would have had to change that as a decimal. Well, here we got a decimal as our answer, and we need to change it to a percent because it's asking us to find a percent, not a decimal. So unfortunately, when we are using the equations, we do need to remember, hey, it was asking for a percent. I need to change this back to a percent. So to go from decimal to percent, we move the decimal place 2 times to the right. So 345 is 20.3% of 1,700. Okay, so the last example here says 25 is 5% of what number? So let's translate this into an equation. So 25, just drop that down. 25 is a 25. The word is, well, that means equals. So 25 equals. The next thing we have is a 5%. So taking that 5% and converting that to a decimal, remember if we have 5%, the decimal point is known to be right there to the right side of it. So if I move that 2 times to the left, I would actually get 0.05 as a decimal. So 5% is 0.05. The next word we have there is of, and of means to multiply. And we're going to be multiplying by what number? And remember, that is our variable. So this equation says 25 is equal to 0.05 times x. So in order to solve this equation here, right, if we want to get x all by itself, we need to divide out by that 0.05 on both sides. On the right-hand side, it will cancel, will go away. So we drop down the x. And on the left-hand side, plug and chug that into the calculator. 25 divided by 0.05 is 500. So 25 is 5% of 500.